So Gregory, how do you view the role of Cosmos Hub and Atom as of today, and maybe as it evolved over the years, because you've been actively contributing to it?
Yeah. It's, well, so I'll start with now. I mean, now Atom is certainly the money of the interchain, right? So if I wanted, as a business, if I'm a contributor running a validator, I'm on multiple networks, contributing to some code, like engaging. If I'm and I have if I have an exchange account, my Coinbase or Kraken or whatever, like Atom is going to be what I'm moving in and out of to sort of like manage my business and manage my life and manage on to off chain and sort of engagement. So it's going to be sort of like the core sort of monetary instrument that everybody is using, like sort of the reserve currency of the whole ecosystem. So that in and of itself, because the Cosmos Hub was early, Atoms were early, they were organically adopted by all the exchanges. Unlike so many projects, I remember seeing these chats back and forth and stuff, and it was like, people saying, hey, is the hub going to pay us for listing? And the hub, was like, no, like you can list it or not, and Tendermint didn't pay. Everybody was just like, adopt it or don't. Like this isn't a pay to play sort of like deal. And despite that, or maybe because of it, it was adopted everywhere. So like basically any exchange anywhere has Atoms, right? So that's huge value. So like myself, Genesis, R&D Inc. is the Genesis organization of Regen Network. We're also maintaining the Cosmos SDK.
It's really called R&D Inc.
R&D Inc. is like
That's a great name. I love that.
Yeah, Regen Network Development, R&D. So it's like a double entendre. It's like
that's fantastic.
How had no one registered before?
Yeah, I'm kind of shocked by that. That's just such a great name.
Well, it's officially it's Regen Network Development Incorporated, and we call it R&D Inc. Yeah, so
it's a great one. Anyway, sorry to interrupt your flow there, Greg.
I love that. But that's a huge, right? So that's a huge value proposition to new chains coming into the ecosystem or contributors, is to have this like highly liquid, widely distributed, highly secure, like Atom, is not going to go anywhere. There's a great validator community. There's clear token economics. In order to upgrade those token economics as a community, we need to sort of like go through parameter changes and engage. So there's a high degree of confidence. So in a way, it's like Bitcoin for IBC, meaning like it's a conservative monetary, like it has sort of attributes. Yes, it's inflating, right? Atoms are inflating, but that's actually good. I would argue if atoms weren't inflating, Atom prices would get too high, and we would actually like be pricing out all of the humans that we want to be coming into the ecosystem. So this like we want it to be inflating. We don't want crazy. I don't, like, as an Atom holder, I actually don't want Atoms prematurely hit $500 or even $100. Like I want people in like the organizations that we're building relationships with. I want when we're all investing in each other, for there to be successive upswings of value, so that value can get cycled back into the ecosystem. So this sort of like cryptocurrency asset class of IBC, of the interchain world, is sort of like first and foremost the like role right now, right? And that wasn't necessarily, I don't know actually if Jay and Bucky foresaw that. I bet they did. But
that was a chat. That was definitely a discussion that was had in the early days. But there were a lot of people saying like that's never going to happen. But like
right. Well, because people didn't see IBC, right? It was like
the thing that I think like changed is IBC now is a representation of the relationship between the different teams. And I always get the comment of like, why are you collaborating with your competition? It's like, well, I don't see them as a competition. It's like, but you're different blockchains. But
our collective economic value, the network effect of IBC, the network effect of a frictionless inter-blockchain economy in which in which you can create your own sovereign economic parameters for a specific community. So you don't have this like sort of like tyranny of globalism, right? But actually it's like, no, in this blockchain, I can seamlessly interact with you, but in my own blockchain, I'm setting economic parameters that take care of the users of that blockchain. So Stargaze and Evmos have different token economics. Regen, Ledger, and Osmosis have different token economics, and those can be parameterized and upgraded by specific communities. And that's so powerful instead of like a homogeneous sort of like one economy, one chain to rule them all. And the wisdom, it's just like a pattern of the world. It's a pattern of the universe that this is how we organize this fractal sort of like holographic organization, where a state machine could be 5 computers running together maintaining state, or a state machine could be 1,000 computers, or a state machine could be 1,000 blockchains running validators for a single blockchain. Like that sort of fractal, that's how the world works. The world doesn't work in one giant sort of like singular
one isolated blockchain in which you need to pay for the bots to be in, right? It's all about collaboration. It's all about communication and interoperability.
Yeah.
Out cooperating the competition, like Gregory, you said that on
the principle. I mean, I say this all the time. This is like R&D Inc.'s like battle cry or something like that. It's like, no, we have to out collaborate the competition, because right now, and that means it's a different paradigm, right? We're legitimately the success in the interchain, and maybe crypto more broadly, but I think it's unevenly distributed, right? I think Web3 or crypto or sort of like DWeb or the Internet of Blockchains, universally competitive advantage is being useful and cooperative with a network of autonomous sovereign entities. Like that's actually like the paradigm. That actually might also be true in the normal world. You see business people, you could be sort of successful in a limited way by being sort of like by doing lots of vampire attacking kind of like cutthroat behavior. But by and large, like, you got to be collaborative. You got to be cooperative. You got to stick by your word. You have to have integrity. You have to build long-term relationships. That's what it's all about. And Atom, and just to like bring it back to the value proposition of the hub, it's a voluntary Schelling point, right? And so much work went into, and so much of the ethos has always been that you want to, like, we need to create network effect without the tyranny of network effect. You don't want to force people into always having to have an economic relationship with one another when it isn't mutually beneficial. And so many other blockchains, they do their mechanism design trying to force people into like immutable forever relationship with one another. And the flexibility of IBC and the Cosmos Hub as this sort of Schelling point or town hall or town in the center of that people can come to and they can contribute, and it provides all of these services to them, is really, it's like the beating heart of what makes Atom so valuable, I think, actually.
Yeah, I think it represents